Before I start with one of our Oriental dance lover, I love to share something with you. There were a lot of dancers, Oriental dancers and belly dancers. They were also famous in this golden era outside Badia Massabni cabaret, such as Badia Mustafa, Naamat Mukhtar, Naima Akif, Soher Zaki, Liz and Katie, or Liz and Lean, and much more. All of them affected our Oriental dance and belly dancing too. And each one of them has her own or had her own flavor of dance and dance steps, such as Nabawiya Mustafa and her wonderful dance step, which we call it infinity dance step. No one did it until now. Maybe during this series I will explain to you much more about her, and of course about some of the dancers I told you about them now. Today we will talk about one of our dancers which she affected very much our dance and our art from several sides, and also she was one of the best dancers in Egypt. Her name is Tahia Carioca. Of course, I will explain to you how she started and what she did, and of course what had happened with her, and there is a secret I will tell you, but at the end of this video, about her and our family too. A lot of people said that she had another name, and it is not matter exactly that if she had another name or not, but her name was, as we know, the famous name, as we know, Tahia Carioca. Carioca, this name, or she mentioned by this name, have a wonderful story. I will tell you about it. But let us start from the beginning of her life. Tahia Carioca, she came from Ismailia city, and Ismailia is one of the three cities. We call them canal cities: Ismailia, Suez Canal, and Port Said. Ismailia city is different than Suez Canal and Port Said. Why? Because a lot of foreigners since long time they lived in this area, and they call it since long time, now not anymore, but or maybe until now, they call it Le Petit de France, which it means Little France, something like that, a Little France. Why? Most of the buildings over there looks like European buildings, and the weather also is wonderful. You can live in, and you cannot feel very cold or very hot, something like that. This city was famous for, and is still famous for, a clean city, very clean city. Full of trees everywhere around the cities, and the city, around the buildings. And the buildings over there, they are not higher buildings, but shorter buildings, which is wonderful for the eyes, and you can feel comfortable, plus also you can feel a huge area, a landscape, and much more things like what I'm talking about it now, what you feel with me. Also, I love to tell you something about Ismailia, which can help us to understand the understanding in this area. Actually, they are famous for dancing with handkerchief, which is very strange little bit, but if I explain to you, or if you see, you will understand it right well. Also, there is a very important musical instrument they dancing on it too over there, which is a triangle musical instrument. I think this instrument, or this musical instrument, coming with the foreigners who they were lived in this area since long time. This is 2 points actually we can find it very famous in this area. And these people, they love very much when they are dancing, they dance in the place. They don't like to move everywhere, or such as the other dances, or the other folk dances, or Oriental dancers too. This point was very important point. You can find it with Tahia Carioca when she is dancing on a stage. Let us start now to understand what had happened with her from the beginning until she became famous like what we know. Tahia Carioca or Tahia, let us say her name in the beginning like that. Tahia, when she was young, she faced a lot of problems at her or with her family, but she didn't mention this right well or clearly, same like what we know or what we understand. But she said that it was too much problems with her family, something like that, and they were punishing her for a lot of strange things. She said it like this exactly. Until one day she decided to escape. Then she escaped. The problem is, in this moment she was very young, and she had a brother, older brother. He was working outside Ismailia in somewhere. She didn't mention actually where he was working, and he had in this time long ago a friend, a singer, female singer. She was singing but in Cairo. She was famous in this time, as she said yes also. So Tahia decided to go to this singer for helping her. I don't know why, and even she didn't mention why. But anyway, she escaped to the railway station, as she said, and she traveled with the train until she reached Cairo. The problem is when she escaped, she hadn't enough money. She hadn't enough money for this. She tried to escape inside the train because she hadn't enough money to pay a ticket or something like this. But people, after they saw her crying and afraid, asked her what had happened exactly. She said that the people she was working with them, they hurted her a lot. For this reason she escaped from them, and she wanted to go back again to her mother in Cairo. This is exactly the story what she explained. When she reached Cairo and asked about the singer area, she went over there, but suddenly the disaster, she didn't found her. The guard told her that she traveled to Alexandria for a couple of days or maybe much more, something like that. She was crying and screaming in the street, and what she can do, because it is so difficult to live like that without anyone can be with her, or any home can she go in, and how she can eat, and a lot of questions like that. And it was in her mind. For this reason she was afraid and started screaming and crying. Suddenly, man with a woman, they were walking in the same area. They look at her, or they looked to her, and they asked her, what had happened, baby? What's going on? By the way, man, he is Egyptian, and woman, she was foreigner. She explained them that she coming to this singer, and suddenly the singer is not here, and she traveled to Alexandria, and she cannot live in Egypt. No one know her, and she know no one in Cairo, and what can she do? This man told her that, okay, don't be worried. We know the singer, and we will travel to her after one day or a couple of days. Yes, also. The wonderful point is, this man, he was a pianist, and I think he was working with the singer too. And they were planning to play music, and she will sing her songs in Alexandria, and he will go to her and working with her. Then they told her that she can go to their home and stay with them, and of course can live with them for these days, or 1 day or 2 days. Then they will go to Alexandria and meet the singer. Actually, she was very happy, and she found suddenly that everything became cool again, and accepted and went with them to their home, and she stayed with their daughter at her room for this couple of days. Then they went to Alexandria. When they went to Alexandria, she met the singer, and of course the singer don't know her, asked her where she come from. She said from Ismailia and her brother, he is blah blah blah, and so explained everything to the singer. The singer was afraid because she knew exactly her family, and her family, they were a very strong family. She scared and said that, no, Tahia, you have to go back home, you have to go back to your family. But she refused and said that, okay, if you want me to go back to my family, I will kill myself and finish. Stop, be calm, I will do everything good for you. That the singer said that, and she tried to let her be calm to finish this problem actually. After a few days, they came back again to Cairo, and she stayed with her at her home for a while. I don't know exactly how long, but I think the singer, contacted her brother and told him that Tahia, she is with her at her home. They live, she live at her home. After a few days, or maybe 1 month or something like that, she took Tahia and they went together to Badia Massabni. One thing I forgot to tell you about Tahia Carioca, she mentioned that one day long ago, before she escaped from her family, there were a celebration, or there were a big party, for a wedding party, and someone asked her to dance in this time. Of course, she was not a dancer, or she didn't thought that she will be a famous dancer or something like this, but she agreed and she went to the stage and she danced on a stage. All the people, they loved her dance very much, and they asked her for another type of dance, and she danced again and again for a few, maybe for half an hour or 1 hour or something like that. But she went out of the stage. Her family, they punished her very much, especially also her brother, because, as you know, in some places in Egypt, or in some areas in Egypt, or let me say in some cities in Egypt, some families, they dislike their daughter to be a dancer or dancing on a stage in front of the foreigners or something like that. For this reason, they punished her, and she said to them that she will never do something like that once more again. No one knows in this moment that this girl, she will be Tahia Carioca, the famous one who will change the way of thinking of this for this type of dance or for this type of art to be wonderful, same like what we know now. This also another nice story she explained about her very old life when she was very young. Anyway, the singer went with Tahia, or took Tahia, and they went together to Badia, and the singer asked Badia to find a work for Tahia. Told her that Tahia, she came from a high privileged family in the society in this area, in Canal Cities area, so she have to take care of her and to be careful with her, like that. Badia Massabni agreed and asked Tahia to stay with her at her home too. Again, Tahia changed the home or the house to be in another house, which is Badia Massabni's house. She stayed with her for 3 months or 4 months, something like this, between 3 or 4 months, like that. And in the end, Badia Massabni asked Tahia to go with her to the cabaret. They went together. Then told her that, why not, Tahia, if you like to dance on a stage. Tahia in the beginning refused, but she said because she was afraid from the story what I told you about. But she told her, okay, why not, we can touch it once or try it once to see what's will going on. Let me tell you something. It was something like law or like rule in this time long ago, and still until now. If you have a place for people for dancing, like cabaret or casino or something like that, When they open the cabaret or this place, people will enter. During the time people enter the area and take a place to sit or something like that, like this, sometimes some artists or dancers, artists like dancers or singers, they go on a stage and they do a little bit performance or singing, something like opening or something like this. It is still the same until now all over Egypt, by the way. Badia Massabni was thinking through this way to let Tahia Carioca go to the stage, enter the stage during the time people coming or enter the cabaret until they sit and something like that. But the problem was that Tahia in this time hadn't a uniform or something like this to dance on a stage. She asked Badia Massabni, how can I enter the stage without dance costume? Badia Massabni told her that, okay, no problem, I will fix this for you, but you have to pay. You have to pay. I will not give you something for free, something like that. So, yeah, okay, you can take some of my part of my money. You can cut some of my money for the costumes, and we can do it. Both of them agreed, and she entered the stage like that. Tahia said that the first time she entered the stage, all people or all audience started clapping to her after she finished, and all of them loved her or fell in love with her very much. She did something wonderful. Wow! Remember with me that this cabaret was full of dancers, yes, also. Most of the dancers, they became jealous. One of them, her mother, after Tahia finished and take off her costumes and she hang it in somewhere inside, the second day, suddenly, Badia Massabni went to Tahia and told, after they went to the cabaret, went to Tahia and told her, tonight you will not dancing. Tonight you will not dancing. I think after 2 times of Tahia dancing or 3 times, something like that, she told her, today or tonight you will not dancing. Tahia agreed and said, yes, okay, but tell me why. And she was very sad, upset, because she wanted to dance. She loved very much people clapping to her and say wow for her. But she agreed and said to Badia, okay, but tell me why. Badia told her, because you haven't any dance costume anymore. Oh, how come? Then she explained to her what had happened exactly. One of the dancers was very sad and jealous from what Tahia did. Her mother, she cut the costume of Tahia Carioca thousands of pieces. Suddenly Tahia, she found herself without costume. It was only one costume. So she found she haven't any costume. What she can do? She stopped dancing. 2 days, 3 days, and suddenly one of the trainers, teachers in the cabaret went to Tahia and told her that no, Tahia, you will go back again dancing. How come? She asked. He said that we have or we need someone can act in a movie, and we need someone, a good dancer with this wonderful face, with this wonderful body. She can dance in this movie. So all of us, we chooses you. How come I haven't any costume? She said. He said, okay, no problem. We will ask someone here to prepare a new costume for you, and then you will dance in this movie. She agreed exactly, and they started to create for her this new costume, and she had it in the end, and she worked in this movie as a dancer, and was wonderful performance she did. I don't know this movie because this movie was very old, and I think it does not exist anymore. Anyway, this movie let a director, I mean a foreigner director, saw her and he asked her to dance in his movie too. The problem was in this time, this director, I think he came from Brazil or something like that. I mean Latin America. And he asked her to study a new type of dance. Its name is karaoke dance or carioca dance, something like that. She started to study it and did it well and was wonderful. In the end, they did it in this movie, was fantastic too. But after that, Badia Massabni asked her to do this performance on a stage. Okay, Tahia did it. Suddenly, all the audience, when they saw this type of dance, they fell in love much more with Tahia, and they start to say that, hello Carioca, do it once more again, hello Carioca, do it again, something like that. In the beginning, Tahia was very upset because she loved to hear her name, not this type of of dance. But step by step or day by day, she started to say that, okay, no problem in this, and suddenly this name became with Tahia. She became famous because of this type of dance, and she became famous, as all of us we know, Tahia Carioca. Tahia Carioca. Sometimes I heard a lot of stories about this name actually, and a lot of people said that because of Carioca, we had a teacher since long time. His name is Carioca, by the way. And some people said that because he taught her or he gave her a lot of classes or something like that, she said no, this name coming to her by this way, and started from this time until the end of her life to be famous by this name, Tahia Carioca. Of course, there is or let me tell you, there is one point I love to tell you about it. As I told you in the beginning when I explained a lot of things about Ismailia, the people over there, they love very much dancing, as I told you, and they are famous for dancing in a little place, not running everywhere on a stage. That was Tahia Carioca too, which it means exactly as I explained to you before about the geographical area and how can influence it our dancing, and the climate, the type of work, the religion, and a lot of things like this, which I explained to you before. The geographical area actually influenced Tahia Carioca when she was dancing or in her type of performance, such as she can dance in a little place and she can break your heart. You go die love her very much. She was one of the rare dancers can do something like this, and she can do a wonderful feeling can go out of her. You can feel, you can see, you can watch, you can touch, a lot of things like that. One thing Badia Massabni said, or no, 2 points Badia Massabni said about Tahia Carioca. The first point is Tahia Carioca was not a good dancer. A good singer. She was perfect dancer, but not a good singer. She can sing or can say something, but not a wonderful or a strong sing like the singers in this time or something like that. So she was not a good singer. This is number one. Number two, which was very strange for me when I heard it from Badia Massabni about Tahia Carioca, that she was not a good cymbals player, sagat player. She was not good. Badia Massabni was famous for playing with cymbals, with sagat. Very easy for her, and she was famous for this very much. She tried to teach Tahia how she play with sagat, but Tahia was not perfect in this. I don't know how. I saw Tahia when she play sagat. I love her very much. Was perfect for me, but that is what Badia Massabni said about her. was very strange actually. And now we reached the secret. Actually, I didn't meet Tahia during her life, and I'm so sad for this. I wanted to meet her once, but no choice. But Huda, she met her, my wife. She met her since long time. Was wonderful very much when I hear this, of course. She met her once. Huda was dancing since long time with a group, a famous group in Egypt, on a stage, and Tahia Carioca was with the audience. After they finished, she asked about her, and she said that she want to meet her. Huda went to her and they start to talk together. Tahia said that you was a good dancer on a stage. You did a perfect steps. You have a feeling much more than the other. By the way, they were a group dancers together, but Tahia, she saw her only was fantastic, of course, for me, but for her too was fantastic, of course. She asked to meet her, and she told her that perfect dance steps you did. You have a wonderful feeling. You are controlling yourself on a stage, and I believe that you will have a wonderful future in this type of dance art, and I want to see you again and again and again on a stage. You couldn't believe Huda was very happy, and she felt that wow, because this is Tahia Carioca. When she said something like that for someone, it is a medal onto my chest, I can put it like that, and I go everywhere and I say, look what Tahia said about me. It was like that. For this reason, Huda was very happy of this, and of course, as you know now, Huda, she is a wonderful dancer and a fantastic teacher, of course. And she never forgot what Tahia said to her. This is the secret of our family. I love to share it with you, and now you know it, of course. And this is the story of Tahia. Tahia, she danced in, I don't know how many, too much films in Egypt, and she did, or she performed in many, also in many wedding parties since long time, but she stopped dancing after she became a little bit fat, and suddenly, as usual, she became much more fat. I loved her very much. All European people, they loved her very much. I believe 100% that all of you love her very much. And we still remember her. We still remember her performance on a stage, her talking, her walking, when she smiled, when she laughed, a lot of things. I fell in love with her, and I will never forget Tahia Carioca. This was the third video about the golden era, and still more. So next week will be another video about another lover. I love her very much. All of you love her very much, and she is, no, I will not tell you. Wait for me next week, and I will tell you, and you will see, and you will know a lot of things about our next lover from the golden era. Wait for me, and please subscribe with me and be with me. You will have a lot of information about the golden era, the dancers, and everything about them in this time, but really stories.